Hello everyone and welcome to the Vic Tech channel. If you're new here to the channel, I hope you like what you see. Like and subscribe and tell your friends. Now, today this video, I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet, is about this timepiece right here. This is a Casio GIEZ 1100, I believe. That's what it is, right? If we look at it, yeah, it's a GIEZ Casio. Yeah. So, the reason why I'm making this video is because this was actually a gift, and initially when I got it, it was on time. This watch can be set in two different ways. It can be set by pressing a button and having it set and leaving it by the window in the 12 o'clock position, just like this. And I believe it's an atomic watch, meaning that there's a tower somewhere that sends out a signal, and it picks up the signal, and if it's set to the correct time zone, it will automatically set the date, time. Now, if you look at the bezel, it's very busy. It has a lot, which is, I like that. It's pretty cool. I mean, but when you set it, the needles have to be pointing in certain directions, and that's the part that is very difficult for you to understand from the manual. Now, I'm going to show you the manual. I have it on the computer, and you'll see what I'm trying to say. So here we have the PDF for the operation guide, and it's very, very technical, if you want to call it that. But if you look at this, it shows manual receive status. There's different ways to set it. A manual receive, and you can do it. I think it's an automatic transmitter adjustment. You know, transmitter receive, because it has a little radio in there that receives the time based on your location and your time zone. So even though it looks as simple enough, it really is not as simple as you may think, and this watch sometimes has me pulling my hairs. My goal is to make a quick video, and there are a lot of videos on this watch, and I look for videos that would help me put this watch on time correctly, and they are either in some other language or they don't cover in depth and detail. I'm going to try to cut to the chase and keep it short and sweet. To set it atomically, you push the adjust button, or A, and you hold it for 5 seconds. It beeps once, and then it beeps like 4 times. That's 3 times, 2 times, and then it goes, and it's pointing to your time zone. In my case, which is New York City, and in order for you to select your time zone, you press D. If you want to set the time manually, you push the C button. And now you use the B and D button to go up, backwards, or forward. You see, this is backwards, and then this is forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the time. You hold it down, and it'll move by itself. And then when you want it to stop, you just tap on it again. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention was, if you notice how the time, as the needles are pointing to the time, if you look at this dial here, that's the 24-hour time clock. So let's say it's 1 o'clock, then that should be pointing to 1300. If it's 8 o'clock, it should be pointing to 8. So right now, the time that we're trying to set it for is going to be 9:14 or 9:15 a.m. And that should reflect the correct time. As you can see right now, it's 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., and you know, because it's pointing to the 13. Now it's going to be 12, and that means 12 noon, because that's the time. So this only adjusts the time. If you want to adjust each individual, like the time and the day of the week, you have to press the C button once you have the time set. This can go around for hours, and the only thing that changes is the time. So like I said before, once the watch reaches the desired time, and the time should be 9:15. Right now we have 10. We're going to 9:15. Now we got 9:30, and you just press this button again, and it'll stop. And now the time is 9:18. Let me just give it a little. This is just about right. Once you set the time, you press C again, and that allows you to change the date. And B would go backwards, and D goes forward. And then you push C again, and that adjusts the day of the week. D goes forward. See, it's Saturday, Sunday, and it goes back to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today's Thursday. I guess the B button has no effect on the date. It can only go forward, and it resets and it goes back to the top as you keep pressing it. And then to go back to the original setting, you press C again, and now it's back to the time zone selection option. So now if you notice, it's pointing to NYC. That's my time zone. How do I change the time zone? Very simple. I press D. See, now it moved to, I don't know what CSS is. And then you have to wait, and so on and so forth. And there it goes. See, it's setting, I'm not doing anything, it's doing it by itself. And then there's no easy way, you have to press it again. Now it's going to Rio, I guess that's Rio de Janeiro. And then it's going to -2, and so on and so forth. You keep pressing it until you go, if you notice, it has, I guess that's Denmark, I guess that's LAX, Los Angeles, ANC, Honolulu, so on and so forth. I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to bring it back to NYC, and then I'm going to show you the rest. Okay guys, so we're almost in New York City. This is China. And then, once it's done, New York City. So, you did notice that this needle here moved. Now, you see that it's in the on position. That means that daylight saving time, you see the DST, is on. Now, this is the correct time. However, the date is wrong. And I believe that this might be off by a few minutes. This is the correct time. So, I'm going to show you now how to manually adjust the time. To go back to timekeeping mode, you press the A button or the adjust. This is going to go to the 12 o'clock position, and then it's going to start keeping time. Now, the time is 9:20, but while you're setting the clock, it stops keeping time. So you have to make sure that when you set it on time, you do it as soon as you're ready to leave the set mode, the adjust mode. So because it's 1 minute off, just for demonstration purposes, I guess the more you do it, the more you see it, and the way you learn, you hold adjust again for 5 seconds. It'll go to the first second, it'll beep again. There it is. It's in timekeeping mode. Now, I want to manually set the time. Do not push any buttons other than C. Remember, A, B, C, D. Now I can adjust my time, see? If you push the D button while it's pointing to your time zone, you're going to take it out of your time zone and it's going to go back. Now the time zone is more, and adjust and go back. That's it. Now the time zone is more for you to want to set it automatically. Again, check the manual, check your region, and if you want that, you want it to set automatically. For some strange reason, mine is off by a few minutes. It does set the time, but just hold down the adjust button for 5 seconds the same exact way. Once the needle is here, if you notice it's pointing, you just take the watch, put it by the window close to 11 or midnight, and then set it, leave it alone, make sure there's no obstructions. It's pointing in the 12 o'clock position out the window. There's no obstruction outside. You can't be close to any power wires or anything like that. That could interfere with the way it receives the time. And you set it, and the next day it should be in the correct time, day, date, and whatnot. And then to go back, just press, if you want to exit, just press adjust one more time, and it'll go back into timekeeping mode. Again, you'll know because the needles go back to the week, and the second hand will start pointing the seconds, and then the stopwatch needle is on the 12 o'clock position. I'm going to leave it here for now. I'll probably do a follow-up video how to set the alarm. Hope this helps. I'm sure going to forget how to do this, and I'm going to reference my own video. Like and subscribe. And as always, VicTech, keep teching.